Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Days, the Minecraft series where we do technology, and last episode we made a laser beam. A laser beam that is a safety violation. Wow. I mean, look at this. You walk through the door, you get blasted in the face with radio waves. Or potentially other more dangerous waves. So actually, the bismuth crystal, let me go ahead and demonstrate what happens if you walk into this, because I know this is probably, not something I want to walk into. Oh, look, I'm blind. How wonderful. So that is the power of science right there. Oh my gosh. That is not a battery. Get that out of there. So today we're going to be making some tantalum or tantalium. It depends on where you're from, how you say it. But this stuff is interesting. It's very interesting stuff that we're going to go make. And the reason why is because this uses a very special ore that you can only find in one specific area in your world, and it's always random. So there's a chance you'll just find this thing, like if you travel 1,000 blocks out, you'll find this thing and you'll be like, what the heck did I just find? Well, you found the most rarest stuff on the planet. You know what? I actually am starting to care, because this is making it very difficult to move around. Maybe I should drink some milk or something. I don't know. So the first part of today's episode is actually making a compass, and you're probably questioning what I'm doing. What on earth does a compass do to help us? A compass is not even something you want in vanilla, like it's just so useless. Well, you just take a compass and then you surround it with cinnabar and you get yourself a cultus. What is a cultus? It's not the people who they're not fanatical religious people. These are wait, how do I make this? Is it advanced alloy as well? I don't know. I don't even know how to make this thing. Let me see if I can remember how to make this thing before we even consider doing anything. Nope, that's not how you make that. Yeah, how do you make this thing? What does it make into? Oh, well, I was almost right. Almost right. So this handy-dandy cultus is telling us exactly where a vein of a precious ore is. Okay, I need to fix this. My blindness is a problem. So yes, this tells us the exact distance we are away from a vein of a very, very fancy substance called coltan ore. Which tantalum, the only reason I have to show you all this is because tantalum is so painful to make that you all might as well endure it with me. You can't just mine this stuff out of the ground and make it into... No. You have to go and go through the suffering to make this into what it's supposed to be, which is tantalum. Or tantalium, or however it is called. And that all depends on where you're at. I'm pretty sure tantalum is actually a real element, according to this book I have here over on my desk. So basically, the usages for this stuff that we're making today, I don't really mention them in the video, and I'm going to mention them here. Basically, you can make it into targeting chips for giant missiles, so that's pretty amazing. You know what else is amazing? That 84% of the people who watch these videos are not subscribed. Yeah, imagine that. You're watching videos about laser beams and this guy blowing up his world. This is amazing. And making polycrystal. What the heck is a polycrystal? What is that? And hey, next episode is an amazing episode. It's gonna be the greatest episode ever. It's the fusion reactor. Oh yes. And then after that, we're doing giant particle physics. Yeah, that's like 4 episodes away. So stay tuned. And then after that, we're launching rockets into space to mine for us. Oh wow. Oh, and if you thought that was impressive, oh, we're making pink ingots. But that's a distance away from now. A long amount of time. I just had a brainwave. If I put on my armor here, I can actually mine faster, so I think I'm gonna do that. Being able to mine this fast is, this should not physically be possible. This is absurd. This is just too fast. You know, it always makes me so happy to find this stuff. You only find it in groups of 2. That's a real element. I was looking for that for my collection. Yeah, I am collecting real elements. Just don't ask any questions here. Of course, I'm pretty sure the real element isn't yellow and doesn't glow. I'm pretty sure it's just a metal. Okay, so now that we have our very precious ore, we're gonna just throw it in the pulverizer. If you're wondering why, honestly, you can't actually do anything to make this into a crystal. So there's no tripling this, there's only doubling it. So that's what we're gonna do. Next thing we need to do is begin creating a bunch of chemistry templates, because this is chemistry. Oh, wait. You thought this was the technology? No, you're wrong. This is not the technology channel. This is the chemistry channel. What am I doing? So the first step we're going to need is actually hydrogen production. Well, actually not hydrogen peroxide. It's actually called electrolysis. So we're going to need to perform electrolysis. Is it cryoelectrolysis or... Oh, okay, it's cryoelectrolysis. I'm pretty certain of that. And we'll get started on that. So I got the reactor up and running, so hopefully we don't have to worry about any electricity problems. However... Okay. And that's just gonna give me oxygen and hydrogen? Oh. Okay. Since we got the gas centrifuge, I've been running that new gas fuel. We're running plutonium fuel, which I don't... Well, I'll shove the rods all the way to 100%. Yeah, we'll see what happens then. Oh, that's way hotter than Shrebidium. Well, Shrebidium's actually, like, you'd have it, like, 10% and it would be, like, this hot. It would be, like, exploding your reactor at this 100%. Shut that thing down. So one of the steps in this process requires super dense steam. I'm gonna just extract that from the reactor. Ignore the blazes, they will be fine. They're just gonna get shipped off to the factory. And oh my, it's not actually releasing the super dense steam. However, it is making the super dense steam, which that's enough to fill the bucket. So this is probably going to be one of the longest processes we actually do on this channel of actual, or, well, probably one of the, yeah, definitely one of the longest. Obviously, it's one of the longest. But, I don't know if it's the longest, but it's one of the longest. That's what I'm trying to say. So what we need now is also, I need to get the, you know what, there we go, gas shale. We're gonna need some of that, okay? We'll explain it when we get to it. So I've prepared another one called coltan purifying, and well, now we have to purify our coltan. So we take the very, very dangerous, very nasty substance that gives us, throw it on the ground, yeah, if you want asbestos poisoning, that's what you do. And boom, put it safely in the thing, and I need more coal. I'm going to need some coal powder. Fortunately, I have coal crystals, so get to work making some coal powder. So what you put in is hydrogen gas, as well as hydrogen peroxide, and that's going to be our purifying compound right there. So this actually gives you niobium, a very rare substance. You should cherish this stuff with your life as much as you cherish your crushed asbestos coltan powder. As you can see, we're also getting purified tantalite. Whoa, what is this stuff? Well, that stuff's important to the next stage of the chemistry process, because we're going to be purifying this pandemonium stuff. We're making Pandemonium 3 production next. Which that is the second to last stage of the whole process. However, this stage also requires some more expensive items. For example, crushed fluorite. I don't have any fluorite. Oh, actually I do. Never mind. I don't have any regular fluorite. Okay, it doesn't matter. Oh, and by the way, this takes 2 coltan to make 1 purified tantalite. That is something you should keep in mind if you want a specific number of this stuff, because you're not getting too much crushed coltan back out of. You're not getting too much out of that. So our purified tantalite is done. Now it is time to actually change up what we're doing next, because what we're doing next is going to be a bit different. We're going to actually need to use gas shales. What are we doing now? This has nothing to do with coltan purifying. Well, we're gonna do some gas shale lab fracking. So what exactly does this require? It requires, well, graphitic schists. Oh no, it requires gas shales, super dense steam, and hydrogen gas once again. Oh, come on. You're going to want a lot of gas shales for this part. Make sure to grab a ton of them, depending on how much you're doing. Like, if you're doing a little bit of coltan, then you're not gonna need too much. But in my case, I have like 30 pieces of this stuff, and I didn't expect to have that much. Okay, so now we're gonna do lab fracking, and we're just gonna shove in our hydrogen and super dense steam. This should do the trick, so we're getting graphitic schists as well as natural gas, which, oh, that could be coolant. I think we're gonna use that as coolant in our RBMK in the future. That is... Where did this coal powder... This is literally killing me. Why? Why is this in my... You know what? I'm just not even gonna question it. So eventually your gas fracking will have yielded a ton of natural gas, which is very expensive stuff. Obviously, something we don't want to use in an RBMK, and yet I'm still planning to do that at some point. So we're gonna have the most expensive RBMK. One problem is that you may have this excess steam. Now, what I recommend doing is just switching up what you're doing with this. So hopefully it just vanishes, vaporizes, just gets out of the tank. It's now time for Pandemonium 3 production. So how do you make Pandemonium 3? Well, you just shove fluorite, oxygen, and natural gases all together with your coltan. So now it's gonna be making some Pandemonium 3. This sounds like a very terrible name for a movie. Pandemonium 3. What the heck? So you actually are going to need about 30,000, or well, 30 buckets of this to actually make 30 of, well, this stuff. So, I don't have enough. Doesn't matter. I didn't really care about making an exact amount. Now that it's all done, we're on to the final stage, the last part of this episode. So, we shove the Pandemonium 3 solution with some hydrogen peroxide rocket fuel, and it's just amazing. It just works. It's making tantalum, or tantalum, as you can see. Tantalum is the proper way to say it, obviously. That's also the British way to say it. We're calling it tantalum here. Well, I've been calling it that the whole episode just because it's intentionally confusing to say things weirdly. Now let me know down below if you actually think this is one of the hardest items to get, or most difficult items to make, because this is an incredibly difficult item to make. So now, what can you do with tantalum? Well, you can't really do much with it. You can't make ingots from it, but what you can do is, I believe, you make it into a powder and smelt the stuff. So you got your tantalum crystals, you smelt it into ingots. Okay, let's go ahead and do that and then end the episode. So the tantalum ingot isn't actually used in anything. However, the tantalum nuggets are very important for making capacitor boards and also self-charging batteries, which are something I'm definitely going to make a lot of. So I'd like to thank you all for watching. I now have the most expensive ingot on all of Minecraft, the tantalum ingot. You thought netherite was well, this is the most expensive. Yeah, I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.